I'm going to call to order the meeting of the mayor and council for Monday, November 21st, 2016. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Present are Mayor Marion Galbraith, Deputy Mayor Keith Hedrick, Councilors Andrew Arento, Jill Rusk, Stephen Sheffield, Conrad Heath, Lawrence Garish, Finance Director Ron Newhouse, Clerk Deborah Patrick.
Thank you very much. Please stand to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognitions, awards, and memorials. I would like to recognize Corporal Fred Goncalves for having been named the Officer of the Year at the Elks. Thank you very much for to Larry on behalf of the Elks for putting on that night. It was really a lovely night with the different police departments there, but our congratulations to Corporal Goncalves. Receipt of citizen, oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I would like to congratulate the women of Groton Heights Baptist Church and their Everybody group for serving the community for the last 100 years. They had a celebration this week.
100 years, that's fabulous. Thank you very much. Receipt of citizens' petitions and comments. Seeing none, response to citizens' petitions and comments. On to approval of minutes. May we have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 7th, 2016 Mayor and Council meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Communications and reports. Councilor Olvento, I think this includes the committee updates, group.
Well, that's under actually committee referrals.
Oh, usually it went the other way, so let's.
But actually, it may not be about, well, yeah, it shouldn't be under referrals, I
Right.
suppose.
So as you go around, if you have anything you'd like to report for your group committees, just go ahead and report.
The only thing I have is that we held a Veterans Day ceremony at Westside on the 10th, and it's something we do every year. And the dynamic of the group has changed very much from when I first went to work at Westside, as unfortunately we've lost many people, but the message is always the same. And I thought it was, again, poignant. Good people come in, they talk to our kids, and they inspire them. And thank you to the mayor for coming and speaking, and the deputy mayor for coming and supporting us as well. It's always a very meaningful day. And our committees haven't met recently, as we haven't had anything to act on, so no updates from there.
Thank you very much. Councilor Rusk.
Thank you. On November 7th, I was able to attend the Group 1 meeting. On November 9th, I attended the Beach and Park Committee. And on November 17th, I had the pleasure to attend the reception to celebrate the success of Connecticut Submarine Century.
Thank you very much. And Councilor Sheffield.
Yes, the 15th I attended the CCM convention at Foxwoods with the mayor. And on the 17th, with Jill, Conrad, Larry, everyone, I guess except for Andy, was the Sub-Century event at Par 4. And on Friday 18th, attended the Vigil gathering in New London for Unity. I know it was a democratic event, but I think it was important for all concerned, regardless of party affiliation. I think it was a very nice event that they had there.
Thank you very much. Councilor Heed.
On November 7th, I also attended the Group 1 committee meetings. And November 17th was the Sub-Century event, of course, where it was actually really fun to meet all the people who were basically the movers and shakers of the event, including yourself. So thank you very much. And November 18th, I also attended the Vigil.
Thank you very much. Councilor Garish.
Yeah, and I too attended the Group 1 Public Safety group meeting, and we'll report on the details on that, I believe, in the next.
I think we'll just go ahead and do it now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay. We discussed a number of old city ordinances that we felt either needed changing, updating, deleting, and I had previously discussed all of them with Chief Davern, and we both agreed on all of them. Some of them that we felt should remain as is, and there's a number of them that we feel should be deleted. So I'll report on those for the next council meeting.
Well, I think we're going to try to put them all together and then have a conversation about them all and kind of go
Okay.
through it.
Excellent.
So if you could send that summary to Heidi or through Deb.
I'll do it.
Perfect,
once I
thank
get
you.
my notes back.
And also I attended the Part 4 committee group presentations, which was very nice. And as you mentioned, congratulations to Officer Goncalves. I felt honored that I was able to attend or be part of that, and also that the award went to somebody that was on the police department when I was still there. So, but it was a nice event, as you know, and a number of police departments in the region, Groton Town, Groton City, Stonington, the sub-base,
Ledyard.
Ledyard. So it was a nice event, and it was
Ashantucket.
Mashantucket was also represented, and it's nice to recognize our police officers and to realize how fortunate we are that we have them. And that's all I did.
Okay, thank you very much. Deputy Mayor Keith Hedrick.
Thank you. On the 10th, I attended a Veterans Day celebration at Westside. Thank you, Councilor Vento, for the invitation. On the 11th, I attended a Veterans Day ceremony at the Sub-Vets Memorial, and as always, that is a very moving ceremony. On the 17th, I attended a GBA meeting at the water treatment facility, where we discussed the upcoming plans for the renovations at the facility. On the 17th, I attended a sub-century celebration with everyone here. And on the 18th, I also attended a vigil. And that's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you very much. Clerk Deb Patrick.
November 11th on Veterans Day, I also attended the Veterans Day ceremony at the Submarine Memorial, and they always do a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Thank you. Finance Director Pat Uhas, Ron Uhas. Okay, I have a couple things I'd like to bring you up to date on. On November 9th, I met with, or Tim Umrish and I met with Kristen Brown. Kristen Brown is working with us. We received, or we've been included in a study by DEEP to look at how we can reduce our solid waste, reduce our tipping fees, change more into recycling where we can, so that we use more and put less into landfills or the incinerators. The incinerators are nearly full, or nearly reached their capacity, so that's something that we're going to be working on, and they are going to have recommendations for us that we will bring to you. On November 10th, I also attended the Westside Veterans Day ceremony, and that evening attended the Harbor Management Commission, and would like to thank Bob Austin LaFrance, who is going to be our new chair of the Harbor Management Commission. On November 11th, I attended the Veterans Day observance at the Sub-Vets Memorial. As Deb said, really very nicely done. And also the annual Armed Forces Night at the Groton Lodge of Elks. And again, through Councilor Garish to the Elks, thank them very much for giving us that opportunity. On November 12th, I attended the Ledyard Police Department ribbon cutting. Gives us an idea of what we need to do. It was really quite the place. On November 14th, this is kind of an ongoing thing. We're redesigning our webpage for the city. It should be up pretty soon. But we've been working on a page called Doing Business with the City to try to make it much easier for people to find out the answers to their questions before they even have to come in, give them resources that they can have, put them all in one very usable place on the webpage. The whole new website is designed to be much easier for people to manipulate. It has right up front the things that people use the most, the things that people have most questions about, and they can communicate with us directly through the website. On November 15th, I attended the CCM annual convention. On November 15th, I attended the William Crawford dinner at the Mystic Marriott. Maggie Jones of the Denison Pequot Seapost Nature Center was, and the Coogan Farm, was awarded the William Crawford Award, and it was really a very nice dinner. On November 16th, I went to the Southeastern Connecticut Women's Network luncheon, and it was their Military Appreciation Day, and both the sub-vets and I were presented with these to hang. This one in honor of Submarine Century, and it's Honor and Remember. It's from an organization called Honor and Remember, and it's their goal to designate a nationally recognized flag, rather like the POW flag, except this one is for those who've lost their life in combat or in sacrifice to their country. So this one was presented to us, and we're going to find an appropriate place to hang that. So we were very honored to get that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilor Sheffield. I went to the GBA breakfast on November 17th. I just wanted to update you that we are reviewing all the different ethics policies we've been able to find to be able to follow through on the conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago about defining terms, setting forth examples and things like that. I'm not sure that we're going to have that for you for next week, because we do want to run it by our attorney. And we'd also like to get some input from our ethics board, so maybe a little longer than we thought, but we are working on it. Also attended the candlelight vigil, and on November 19th, we had, our St. John's Christian Church had a breakfast for first responders, served the servants, they called it, and both our firefighters and our city police were invited to attend. It was really very nice, and I want to thank St. John's Christian Church for doing that for us, and as I said, the Officer of the Year at the Elks. Today we had a conversation about microgrid, and we invited in both Mayor Flax and Town Manager Mark Offinger, because Groton Utilities, in concert with Norwich Public Utilities and Bosrar Utilities, are submitting a grant to try to use our 50 and 5 generators to make us more reliant when we have outages. So if there were a catastrophic outage, we could use those 50 and 5 generators to bring up critical infrastructure. And what we mean by critical infrastructure are the large grocery stores, because people need to be able to get food and milk and all of those things, gas stations. So people have that, the former Hess Buckeye, to bring up banks, the warming centers and things like that, so they don't have to be reliant on their generators. So we had a meeting with the town, and we're going to be making a presentation to you about that as well. So I think that concludes my reports. So we'll go to, do we have any committee referrals? Seeing none, we will go to new business. Councilor Ilvento.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-16-11-111. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the expenditure of up to $35,000 and no cents for the purchase of 200 linear feet of 12-inch HDPE pipe, rental of 150 linear feet of 16-inch HDPE pipe, complete electrical pumping unit and other required material and labor for the pumping of water from Smith Lake and the adjoining Pequannock Reservoir and the Poheganot Reservoir to be paid.
New bituminous.
Happy it wasn't me.
To be paid from funds available in the approved fiscal year treatment plant equipment reserve fund. I so move.
Second.
So Poheganot is a reservoir that's fed by aquifer, and the aquifer is down. So and you heard this at the GBA meeting the other day. So the plan is to pump water from Pequannock, which has a much higher level at this point, into Poheganot, so that we can kind of restore the aquifer as a part of a drought mitigation program. We do have Mr. Gaudet here if you have any questions about it, but that's basically the plan, is to be able to sustain the aquifer. So is there anything you'd like to say on that?
In general, I got a picture of, no one's seen it before, you ever want it, I can even leave it on the side.
Okay.
If you'd like to look at it. And there's basically 5 reservoirs. And just to give you an idea, the top reservoir is basically known as Morgan. It's at about 67%. Ledyard Reservoir is next. It's at 95%. Poheganot would be next. It's at 31%.
Smith Lake, which is the lake we're gonna be pumping out of into Paheganet, is at 78%. And Pequannock, which is at the very bottom where the spillway is at 83%. And right now, the stop logs are out between Smith Lake and Pequannock, meaning the level has been, Pequannock is actually filling up Smith Lake backwards right now. So that 78% in Smith Lake is equal to the 83% in Pequannock. So with the stop logs out, we're saving the water, not allowing it to spill over the dam. And then what the pumping will do is the pumping will keep moving water from the very lower basins up into Paheganet.
Yes.
I have some questions. So when you look at Paheganet and Smith, there is a connector between the two that runs under I-95, is that correct?
Right, that's a spillway.
Okay. And those can't be used to pump the water in between?
Actually, that underpass under
Mhm.
the highway is right where that pipe is right now. We own some pipe, the
Okay.
pipe is going up that spillway and gonna fill up Paheganet.
So where's the pipe that you're proposing to put in?
It's going right up that spillway that you just referred to.
So what we're doing is pump it, instead of it coming this way, we're gonna be pumping back the other way.
You're pumping from Paheganet into Smith, or from
No,
Smith
Smith
into?
Paheganet.
Okay. And how is Smith filled? Is it a
Right
natural
now-
spring, or is it?
Right now, there's actually a little channel between Pequannock and Smith
Mhm.
that has a bunch of stop logs that goes in it, so that the two are usually separate levels.
Mhm.
We pulled those stop logs out, and Pequannock is running back into Smith.
Okay.
And the reason being is Pequannock's filled from the upper reservoirs quicker when we get rain, so the surface water tends to fill up the lower reservoir first this time of year. So saving that water by pumping it back up lets us take the water from other tributary streams and move it back up into the aquifer of the Paheganet.
So it's usually around this time of year, maybe a little bit later, that water would start spilling over the dam. So rather than have it spill over the dam, we want to put it into Paheganet so it will refill the aquifer, the
Okay.
underlying water.
So we're definitely in a drought situation, the whole state is. What are the long-term effects of doing this? Are there any?
Well, the long-term, well, it's more a short-term effect. Instead of just having the water spill into the Long Island Sound, it's going to be used to replenish
Okay.
water that will replenish, to fill the aquifer so that it will fill Paheganet. So that's the idea of it is, right now we spill a lot of water, especially in winter.
Okay.
So
And
it reserves that water.
one more follow-up question. I know a lot of the state has asked its residents to reduce water usage. Are we at a point that we need to do that?
So we have a plan for different levels of, so if we had 72% or 60, well, right now we're at 72, I believe, 72%.
Right, that
So if we went down to 60%, then we'd do some voluntary, and then if we got down to like 30%, we'd do mandatory.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Hedrick.
Thank you. Addressing one of your questions, we're at 72%, and a lot of the other places in the state are down to 35%. So relatively speaking, we're a lot better off. And this is a way, instead of wasting water, meaning spilling over, we just recapture and redirect the water so that we save it
Okay.
into the lower percentage aquifer, or not aquifer, but reservoir.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions?
Not a question, I had, because of the drought throughout the state, or parts of the state, I had previously spoke with Ron about our situation here and was pleased to see the percentages that we have. We're fortunate.
Yeah, we are. And I really think this is a really ingenious plan to not spill the water and
Why waste it?
reuse it.
Absolutely.
Put it back into the ground.
Yep.
I think we've been very fortunate, even in the last couple times where we had some years without a lot of rain, things have been managed very well to prevent things that have happened in other towns.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Counselor Rusk.
Thank you. Resolution R-16-11-112. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council finally approve an amendment to ordinance 200, an ordinance for the city of Groton building demolition and preservation. I so move.
Second.
We have discussed this at Committee of the Whole. We've read it once, so this would be the final reading of it. Are there any further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. We need a motion to go into executive session pursuant to General Statute Sections 1206E, 1210-9 to discuss strategy or negotiations with respect to collective bargaining to include Chris Hodgson and Lori Sheets.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we will have business when we come out. Thank you very much. We didn't make the motion that way.
Do we need to do it again?
No.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay, Counselor Hedrick.
Thank you. Resolution R-16-1-113, therefore be it resolved in accordance with the executed ground rules for negotiation between the City of Groton and the Union and the provisions of Connecticut General Statute Section 7, Tac 474 Bravo, the mayor and City of Groton hereby accept the agreement, and the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute said agreement on behalf of the City of Groton. I so move.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.